It is 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. The screen is glowing softly in front of you. You have exactly one email left to answer, and it is only 3 lines long. But staring at that blinking cursor feels like standing at the base of a massive, unscalable mountain. Why does something so incredibly small feel so physically impossible to do? You shift in your chair, you check your phone, you open a new tab, close it, and stare at the wall. The voice inside your head starts up right on cue, sharp and familiar. It tells you that you are falling behind. It tells you that everyone else is managing their lives just fine, and that you simply lack discipline. You tell yourself that you are just being lazy today. But is that really what is happening here? To understand why your body is hitting the brakes, you have to look at the story you have been told about productivity. Dr. Devin Price is a social psychologist who has spent years researching how human beings function under pressure. In the book, Laziness Does Not Exist, a profound and comforting truth is uncovered. The entire concept of laziness is an illusion. It is a cultural invention designed to make you feel guilty for having completely normal, natural human limits. Think about it for a second. When a car runs out of gas on the highway, you do not call the car lazy. You understand that it has simply depleted its resources. Why do you treat your own body with less compassion than a machine? You are not failing. You are not broken. You are experiencing something entirely different, something biological and deeply human. You are burnt out. But burnout is a word that gets thrown around a lot, often just as a synonym for being very tired. The actual psychology behind it is much deeper and much more specific. Dr. Christina Maslach is a pioneering psychological researcher who created the gold standard for measuring this condition, known as the Maslach Burnout Inventory. Through decades of research, burnout was defined not as working too many hours, but as a severe stress syndrome with 3 very specific dimensions. The first is emotional exhaustion. This is not just needing a nap, but feeling like your internal battery is completely damaged and refuses to hold a charge, no matter how much you sleep. The second dimension is depersonalization, or cynicism. This is when the world starts to feel distant, like you are watching your own life through a foggy, smudged window. The final dimension is a reduced sense of personal accomplishment. This is that heavy, sinking feeling that no matter how hard you paddle, the shore is only getting further away. Does that sound familiar to you? When you are sitting on the couch unable to move, you are likely experiencing all 3 of these dimensions at once. You are not choosing to avoid your responsibilities. Your brain has literally placed you in a mandatory low power mode to protect you from completely shutting down. To understand how you got here, you have to look at how your nervous system handles modern life. Dr. Emily Nagoski and Amelia Nagoski are researchers who focus on how the human body processes emotional exhaustion. In their book, Burnout, they explain a concept called the stress response cycle. Thousands of years ago, if you were chased by a predator, your body would flood with stress hormones. You would run for your life, and if you survived, you would celebrate with your village. That celebration signaled to your brain that the threat was gone, allowing your nervous system to return to baseline. The cycle was completed. But how often do you get to complete the cycle today? Today, the predators are not animals. They are unread messages, financial pressures, social expectations, and a constant stream of global news. Your amygdala, which is the tiny almond-shaped threat detector in your brain, cannot tell the difference between a physical attack and a stressful email. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline all the same. But because you cannot physically run away from an inbox or punch a deadline, you just sit there, staring at a screen, vibrating with unreleased stress. Day after day, this unreleased tension builds up into something scientists call allostatic load. Allostatic load is the physiological wear and tear on your body from chronic, continuous stress. Imagine you are putting a small rock into a backpack every time you feel stressed, overwhelmed, or anxious, but you never take the backpack off. At first, you can carry it just fine, but after a few months or a few years, that backpack becomes so incredibly heavy that it pins you to the couch. You look at a simple task like washing a single dish or answering that short email, and you cannot do it. It is not because the dish is heavy. It is because you are already carrying a mountain of rocks. This is the moment the guilt usually sets in. You picture yourself resting, but you are not actually resting, are you? You are engaged in something that feels more like a hostage situation. You are sitting on the couch, scrolling mindlessly through your phone, while a second track in your mind plays a continuous loop of everything you should be doing instead. You are physically still, but internally, you are sprinting. This is why your weekends do not feel restorative. You cannot heal from burnout while simultaneously attacking yourself for being burnt out. So, how do you actually begin to step out of this cycle? The answer is incredibly gentle, and it has absolutely nothing to do with buying a planner or forcing yourself to try harder. You have to show your brain that it is safe to power down. The Nagoskis point out that your body speaks a different language than your logical mind. You cannot simply think your way out of the stress cycle. You have to physically show your nervous system that the threat has passed. You do not need to take a month-long vacation to do this. You just need to create tiny, deliberate moments of safety in your everyday life. It starts with one concrete shift. The next time you find yourself frozen, staring at a task you cannot bring yourself to do not fight the freeze. Instead, drop the struggle completely for just 5 minutes. Close the laptop, put the phone in another room. Let yourself be exactly as exhausted as you actually are. Give yourself total, unconditional permission to do absolutely nothing without the heavy tax of guilt. Then, speak directly to your nervous system. You can do this through a long, deep sigh, inhaling fully and then exhaling until your lungs are completely empty. You can do this by wrapping a heavy blanket tightly around your shoulders, creating a gentle physical pressure that mimics a hug. You can even do this by just standing up and shaking your arms and legs out, literally shaking off the stagnant energy of the day. It sounds almost entirely too simple to work, but what you are doing in that moment is profound. You are manually overriding the alarm bells in your amygdala. You are telling your body that the lion is gone, the woods are clear, and it is finally safe to rest. When you start practicing this kind of radical self-compassion, something quiet and beautiful begins to change. The heavy fog of depersonalization starts to lift. Just a little bit at first. You begin to realize that your worth is not and never was tied to how many things you can cross off a list in a 24-hour period. You start to trust your body again, knowing that when it asks for rest, it is not trying to sabotage you. It is trying to save you. It is 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. The screen is glowing softly in front of you. You have exactly 1 email left to answer, but this time, you do not force yourself to stare at the blinking cursor. You close the laptop, you take a deep, slow breath, and you step away, knowing that the mountain can wait for tomorrow.